All right, folks. What you're seeing on the other side of your screen here is Representative Cornelius with House Bill 270. This is the indecent exposure bill that would prevent, I don't even know how to describe this. It would prevent men who have women's breasts from exposing them in public. I can't believe I just said those words, but let's listen to this debate.
It took a lot of time to make sure that we weren't overstepping our bounds. We're not trying to identify or carve out one sect of society, female, male, whatever. We're not trying to do that. We're just trying to keep our public protected from this, if we can do that. So I've talked to the Canyon County prosecutor. He said this is absolutely something we can prosecute. If somebody is ever doing this again in public, it could be a misdemeanor if this bill passes. And we changed this bill a little bit from what it was before, that now it takes 3 strikes and you're out. So before it was 2. If you get 2 misdemeanors, you could be tried. Now it's 3, including in other states, and then it could be a felony. So again, friends, I ask that you support this bill and support our communities and our society. And I want to stand for any questions.
Thank you, gentlemen. For the motions, for the debate on the motion. Gentleman 15.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Yes.
Gentleman 12 yield. Gentleman yield.
This ought to be good.
Thank you, good gentleman. Just want to make sure I understand. If reading this bill, that a crime has been committed if any one person is offended. Is that what triggers a crime for having been committed, that any one person is offended?
Yes, that's
gentleman
yes,
from
Mr.
12.
Speaker. Sorry. Good gentleman from 15. Yes, that is in current code.
Thank you.
For the debate on the motion, gentleman 13.
Current
Thank
code.
I'm co-sponsoring this
Good
bill.
gentleman like to debate the bill.
It's always interesting when they debate things that are already in current code.
Yeah.
That's
It's
not the
going to
scope
make
of the
them
bill.
want to go back and change it,
Co-sponsoring this bill, and I want to emphasize in this that the way the criminal code reads there, it's willfully lewd exposure of body parts. So it's not just that someone's offended, but the actor has to be willfully lewd in their behavior. In committee, we heard a question of what if a man who was augmented was out mowing the lawn and he had his shirt off, and and if someone was offended by that, would that be a problem? If he was mowing his lawn, I guess, in a willfully lewd way.
Remember, this is not just about people
Also,
mowing their lawns. This
we
is something
heard in
obviously
committee,
you saw on the streets
a
of Napa
question
last
about,
summer, and something we saw on the White
conditions
House lawn during the Biden
anesthesia,
administration.
Yes.
Which is a hormonal imbalance, which may cause a male to grow breasts that appear like female breasts. And if, that would not be a problem here, because what we're talking about is willfully lewd behavior. So what we're trying to do here is, as the good gentleman from 12 talked about, the police felt like they could do nothing. At a separate occasion, I talked to the chief of police in Nampa, and he said also, I asked him, what could you do? And he said, I didn't feel like I could do anything, because he didn't have a legal ground to stand on. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to modernize our code here. The intent, like the gentleman from 12 said, is not to bash any group of people, not try to carve out and harm any group of people. The intent here is just to make clear and cover this area. So again, you can be you can do what you want to do, just that, but if you're in doubt, cover it up.
Cover it up if you're in doubt. He's a dad. That's a dad line. Okay, folks. Yeah, as mentioned, I mean, this is the type of common sense stuff that we never thought we'd have to get to this point where we're discussing these things. Some of the discussions in the hearing seemed very uncomfortable. I mean, you're talking about 17. It's such an insult to women as well.
Mr. Speaker.
It's the sort of thing that was once just obvious.
And it also, Brian, it's like it's almost like saying, like, we can't see a woman's chest in public at all. And by gosh, if it's on a man as well, like I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know what kind of psyche it does. If it's like, it's so lewd and gross to see. I mean, it's indecent or whatever. It's like it's like a deep philosophical discussion. We need to go have cigars and and a drink and talk about these things, because it's so crazy that we're in this stage where a man augments their breast to look like a woman and then walks around flaunting it. It's such an insult to women. It's such an insult to women.
Yeah, I mean, you go back 25 years, and you have The Silence of the Lambs, a horror movie about a serial killer who puts on a woman's suit to try and change how he looks, and now that's just your average day in the park.
Yeah, it literally, literally. All right, let's listen to Gannon.
So therefore, this bill's intent is great. The actual example is valid, but why? But it is expanded to private personal conduct in your own place of living. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the debate on the motion. Hearing none, would the gentleman 12 care to close the debate?
All right, short debate. Here we go.
To address the good gentleman from 17, that piece of legislation exists currently. We did not change that piece of legislation. This is a good bill. It's going to take care of our communities and protect our children, protect our families, and I hope you give it your green light.
Hey, gentlemen, debate's closed. Question, House Bill 270 passed the House. Clerk will unlock machine. Members will cast your votes.
I don't think this is going to be a big surprise here, Brian, that this passes, but considering it's just updating current existing code. So
looks like it's
Is every member
party
voted?
line.
Party line vote there. So close. Will they add in man-wearing and furryman? Usually they go that way.
It looks like Representative Furman is
Vote for your bill.
out today.
Does any members change their vote?
He's been absent for all the
Lock
votes.
machine, record the roll.
Yeah.
59 ayes, 8 nays.
Well, chalk another one up for Birch.
House Bill 270. House Bill 270 is passed the House. So correct your title.
Man, I thought
Hearing none, titles approved. Bill be transferred to the Senate.
Birch and
House
Trump
will
just
now
go
before
together.
House Bill 280, the gentleman 35.
Birch is an interesting one. You always hear about Republicans in purple districts having to move to the center and be moderate in order to, maintain their seats. Representative Birch lives in a purple district, West Boise, District 15. He's got 2 Republican seatmates, and yet he's not moving to the center. He is, staking out a position on the hard left, which hopefully that comes back to bite him next year.
Yeah, he really does, Brian. I mean, he has maintained consistency when it comes to being a hard left line voter, and his seatmates kind of usually get painted with a sort of like, oh, they're kind of wishy-washy on certain areas, but yeah, and I don't know why that is. When you live in a purple district, the default is to just go hard left or to just move everybody left. You never really see a more conservative Democrat say, hey, let me be more conservative. But that's what he paints himself as, apparently. That's the word on the street. The word on the beat is he paints himself as a moderate because nobody knows how he votes. So
he prides himself on knocking on all the doors, and he won't tell people that he's a far left Democrat. He finds some little issue on which he can find common ground, and then he leaves a positive impression on people. I actually met more than one person in the last election who was voting for Birch for legislature and Trump for president. It's
bizarre. It's really bizarre. So, and that's why this show exists, folks. It's to highlight people, highlight their votes. We're watching this live. We get to call them out when we see it, hold them accountable, and let you know who these folks really are. So that's really great.